Legal Wednesday. And look who joins us again for a Legal Wednesday. Going into the Thanksgiving weekend, it is Jeremy Rosenthal, one of our favorite attorneys, returning back to the show to talk about legal stuff. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing?
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing fine. How about you? Are you okay? Are you well caffeinated? You done your workout this morning and all that good stuff?
Have you been watching me? Like, really, seriously, have you been? Yes, well caffeinated, maybe a little extra in the coffee because it's a holiday week. Maybe yes, maybe no. It's not going to show up on a test or shouldn't.
By the way, there was a new study out that finds if you put maple syrup in your coffee, it's a lot healthier for you than sugar. Have you ever tried that?
I've tried agave. I've tried that. I've not tried maple syrup. No, I've not. So, but maybe I need to. Is that real? Is that that's a thing?
Okay. Yeah, our friends up in Canada studied it, and they found it was a little healthier. But maple syrup is from there, so maybe they're struggling with business a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a little bit loaded. My take on Canada comes from South Park. Blame Canada.
Good point, Jeremy. Good point. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to talk about something right up your alley since you deal a lot with criminal cases. And this is the whole thing going on with the Menendez brothers. All right. They were found guilty a number of years ago of murdering their parents. And we've got an outgoing DA that I'll call, and you'll hate this because I'm going to call him a soft on crime DA, who is pushing for this. And a judge says that he's going to push the resentencing hearing to January to give the county's new DA time to weigh in on the case. So what is going on here, and why is this even being looked at for folks that haven't been following it, of potentially letting these two guys out?
So first off, let's just kind of lay this out here. Okay, throw the skunk on the table. I'm a criminal defense lawyer. When it comes to soft on crime DAs, okay, I need prosecutors who are going to go prosecute rich guys really, really hard. Okay. If they're not going to go after my guy, I have to have the Alamo to defend. And if the army is not coming and surrounding me, then I'm like, well, what am I even doing here? Right. So if you want, so let's bring it. Right. I mean, we talk about legalization of marijuana. I got a house payment to make, guys. I got a kid who wants to go to college. All right. So no, let's not get soft on these things anytime soon. Right. So nobody wants crime enforced more than me. That's just, I'm just saying, guys.
Okay.
Okay. So,
okay, that's fair.
There's a saying in the legal profession, an ancient saying, man who sues your client can't be all bad. Okay. So, right. We need these things. One lawyer starves, two lawyers get rich. You get it? So when it comes to the Menendez case, and I'm gonna back into this. What you have here is a judge who doesn't want to make a hard decision, and that hurts me in my lawyer soul. It hurts my lawyer bones when we talk about that. And to kind of get there, so you had the Menendez brothers murders, horrific. The coroner described the gunshot to the father's head as, I think it was, explosive decapitation. It was really horrific and really terrible and really bloody. Now, there were part of their defense was that they had been sexually abused by their father for years and years. And at the time, the DA's office says, well, it's easy for you to say that because now these people are dead and they can't defend their actions, right? And the mom tolerated it, and she was abusive in her own way. More and more, we have a Netflix documentary that comes out, and there's more and more truth to it. We have an outcry now from somebody you remember the boy band Menudo? So we have an outcry there. We have more evidence of an outcry prior to. So it's gaining a little more credence. And in the year 2024, we just have more of an understanding about the long-term implications of this type of abuse. And so from a mitigation standpoint, the new DA, or the old DA, the one who was soft on crime and didn't want defense lawyers to make a lot of money, that guy, he said, we're going to find a pathway for these guys for parole. And the judge, instead of ruling on it, says, well, hold on, let's wait for the next DA to come in and let's hear what that guy has to say, which to me is just an excuse for not wanting to do it, for not wanting to grant these guys eligibility for parole. He's waiting to see that he wants this new DA to kill it. And I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, you think the new DA is just going to say, nope, not doing it?
I think he's a lot more likely to do that. He is the new DA, again, was elected on the tough on crime platform, and a lot of folks thought that Gascon, the DA who just lost in Los Angeles, that this was a publicity stunt with the Menendez brothers. And look, the voters spoke out there, and they got rid of him. That said, the judge still has everything he needs to grant clemency here. He just doesn't want to do it, and the judge says, well. And then you've got Gavin Newsom, who could also grant clemency. That guy sees himself in the White House in 5 years. He's not touching this thing with a 10-foot pole. So he's hoping this thing dies before it gets to his desk.
I'm taking it right now. The betting line is that the new DA is going to say, nah, these guys are staying in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I think happens here. And look, I mean, these are really, really, really horrific murders. And they tried the battered spouse PTSD defense, which requires what you would call imminency, right? It requires the danger to be imminent. In other words, I had to act in self-defense because I was being attacked right then and there. And so the battered spouse defense has always been one of, it's almost what you would call a what's that? So, well, they call it right. The theory is self-defense. I would say it's jury nullification. In other words, these guys had it coming, which the law doesn't support that. But emotionally, if you can get a jury there, then that's how you get the jury to go for that.
All right. So when does the new DA take over in January? Is it like a lot of them first or second week?
Actually, he takes over on December 2nd, which is pretty quick here. Even so, the judge has kind of sat on this and has sort of run the clock out. And again, I mean, I deal with judges. I love any judge that's listening. I don't know if they're in Eugene, Oregon, what they're doing there. But if any judges are there's a lot of judges who just don't want to make a tough call, and they're politicians too. In Texas, we elect them. And look, they don't want to rock the apple cart. And maybe, the judge looks at Gascon as the canary in the coal mine and says, okay, you wanted to give these guys clemency. And look what happened to you. Right? Yeah, I'm not signing up for any of that. So I think that if the new DA comes out and wants there to be a path to parole, that gives the judge a little political cover to say, okay, well, because the DA wants it, the new DA wants it, I'm okay with it. But if the new DA doesn't want it, well, then it's a moot point, because in California, the DA has to approve it. That's a prerequisite, which was already done. The judge just doesn't want to grant it.
So really, we could sum up this entire discussion with 3 letters: CYA.
You know what? So much of life can be defined that way. The most wise, and this is, I'm going to go off a little bit here. The most wise saying I have ever seen in my life. We have a lot of churches in Texas, a lot of really small congregations. I don't know if they do this in Oregon, but they have these little sayings that they put on the marquee on the outside. Forbidden fruit creates bad jam. I have never heard any more wisdom than that. You can define everything in life with that, right? you know? There you go. Think about that.
We will. Thank you for that parting thought. We can, canoodle this over Thanksgiving dinner. Jeremy, always a pleasure to talk to you. Have a good Thanksgiving, and we'll look forward to our next chat.
Got it. By the way, the Red Raiders only turned it over twice at Oklahoma State this week, but we did beat Okie Light. We have vanquished our foes. So just wanted to throw that out there. I give them a hard time, but we're going to go to some stupid bowl that's not as anywhere near as good as Oregon.
Hopefully the Pop-Tart Bowl. The Pop-Tart Bowl is a good one.
Yeah, sure. Is that okay?
The winning team gets to choose what Pop-Tart they get to eat, and the MVP actually gets to pick the flavor. So it's
that's been our problem all years. We've been eating too many of the freaking Pop-Tarts. I mean, that's been our problem, guys. You guys, Oregon, they focus on football and they win. I don't know. You guys, look, man, I'm excited for the Ducks. They're going to do great. My law school is SMU. I'm not allowed to root for my law school, but SMU, those guys got a chance. I mean, so anyway.
Yeah, they're at number 9 in the rankings last night, so they got a chance.
Mm-hmm. Who knew that when you could start paying players oodles of money that SMU would show up out of nowhere and be good? Who knew? Yeah.
All them lawyers. All right, Jeremy, happy Thanksgiving.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
It is News Radio 1120 KPNW.